when we get lost in our journey, what do we do? And I say that life is like a journey. One idea that I thought may help is when you're lost, that means we don't have a good map and we don't have a good orientation. Where to go? What's the aim? What direction? So, first thing, probably, the best thing is not to do anything. Just observe what's around, what the situation is, what's the purpose of the journey, aim of the journey, and how we get to where we are. If we are in the mountain and lost, maybe the things that we can do is to find the reference points, the maybe peak of the mountain, shape of the big rocks, or the direction of the sun, or the direction of the wind. These would tell us the situation we are in. We can also go backward, how we came to the point. Did we climb up or climb down? Or what was the road was like? Whether it's the mountain, in the mountain or in the ocean, there are those reference points that we may be able to remember. So, what went on in the past, how we get there, get where we are, and what's the situation around, what are the reference points, and then the direction, the aim of the trip. In life, the aim of the trip may change. Aim of a journey, the direction and the vision of what you want to do may change depending upon the skill we have, environment we live, and the changing situation that we face. So actually the aim of the journey should be related to find a way to maximize utilizing our talent. If we do that, that's pretty much the best we can do. And for that, we have to look outside what's going on and also what happened, what the aim, things of that nature. But also we need to look inward to see how we feel. Because if we are upset and worried, of course the judgment may not be right. So even though the situation may be difficult, we may get panicked and frustrated and disappointed, whatever, still we may need to assess the situation, because the worst thing we can do is to jump into the conclusion. So internally, I think we need to learn how to be calm and quiet in our mind as much as possible, even the situation is difficult, and maintain that stance. If I think about the point of dying, when we are about to die, of course, things are becoming more out of our control. Our heartbeat, breathing, blood flow, whatever the physiological, the body function can change as much as the mind function can change. So it's inevitable, whether in the long journey of our life or short journey or toward ending of the journey, we come to the point where many things are out of our control. So what is our control is at the end what we have internally, and we need to be hopefully prepared for that. Maximize utilizing our talent, doing the best. And for that, we need to develop a good discipline to know who we are, what we can do, how we best utilize our talent, and if we can utilize the best of our talent, what more can we expect. Of course, we can expect lots of wonderful things or dream about it, but in reality, we have to be very pragmatic. So that also is the way of judgment we have to learn while we are able to, so that we maintain this posture, whether we are lost in the middle of the journey or end of the journey. Because the process of how to deal with the inevitable is the same. When we are lost, we are lost. When you are dying and things getting out of control, that's what it is. We can be lucky that we're having fun and great life. But at the end, things won't be under our control. So I think it's meaningful to know how we deal with it, and that posture, attitude, the skill, the ideas, how we deal with it can be applied. So back to the question of what do we do when we are lost. I mentioned about, and actually I'm talking to myself because the reason of my talk about this is that I was wondering what may be the best thing I can do in my life at this moment. So for everyone, we have those moments, I believe, because the situation changed and the inevitable things happen and we need to cope with it. So when we are lost, we face the severe difficulty, uncontrollable situation, we still need to have a good way of dealing with it. Again, hopefully we know where we are. From the past to now, how we get there. Hopefully we can assess the situation around. Some of the reference points out there or inside of us may point us the critical issues critical ideas, the reference, I call it, critical way of dealing with the situation as reference. We can train ourselves, have the good discipline to find that reference point so that we have some foundation. Now, let's think about the reference point. In my case, some of the reference point is related to the books I've read, the literature, the scriptures, many moments that I was inspired. I felt strong energy, strong resonating sense of the message. So as many may do, we can keep those as an important reference point, inculcating in our mind, so that we try to live. Because if that's the wisdom from others that may have had major impact to the society and the history, and therefore we encounter such wisdom, we want to keep it, make it our own experience of being able to connect to the wisdom, whatever the term and the way that we may remember. I think that would help us under difficulty. And when you are lost, facing a very, very insurmountable difficulty, we want to access such wisdom that may encourage us. And since we may have gone through those processes to go over the hurdles of our life, we want to retrieve that kind of a wisdom from wherever we can find in ourselves as our important as an important reference point. Ask anyone or to myself, what are my basic reference point? The answer may be different, but maybe not so different. Many people have gone through this process. Many people have shared the experience, the wisdom. And many times we may have been inspired by the courage of those people who had gone through it and found their own solution. And story of that nature that may have inspired us can be a very important reference point that we can anchor ourselves so that we can endure or pass through the hard time to do our best and find peace in whatever the outcome we may have. Just a thought. The answer may not come easily, but reflecting on those experiences, references, reflecting on our own stories, the confidence we may have developed, the more we can capture and relate to and pass on to others and pass or confirm ourselves, the better we may be able to handle the hardship, the difficulty when we get lost, things like that. And at the end, hopefully we can enjoy whatever we got and find the meaning in whatever we do.